We're here.
I'm like, did it go? We are here. Thank you, guys. So they all have backwards hats, and I don't, because I don't have my Matt hat yet.
That's how we do it.
Shout out, Matt.
Shout out, Mickey.
Shout out,
Matt said he sent me one. It's probably in a box. I'm the worst about opening boxes because most of them are returns, and I don't want to deal with them. So I have like a pile of unopened boxes, but that's besides the point. So thank you all for being here. I have Josh as my co-host tonight. Julian's still on vacation. He will be back in 2 weeks. So next week is Crazy Lamp Lady and Vintage Junker, Thrifter Hunter, and Flippin' Fiasco, and then Julian will be back. So I did not abduct him. I promise. He is still the show co-host.
Yeah.
So I have Josh, Harry Tornado as my co-host tonight. So thank you for coming.
My
and
pleasure.
I thought about this after. I'm like, what am I doing with these three guys? So hopefully I can keep up with their energy. You guys have so much energy, and I feel like I don't match it. Yeah, get ready. So, do you guys want me to make you big to introduce you, or are you good?
No, I'm good. I'm
good.
good.
I want it. No, I'm just kidding.
Joey wants it. Okay, Joey, take it. There you go.
What's going on, guys? This is Joey Badabing22, your local mailman. And what's going on, guys? Appreciate Kat letting us on the Triple Thrift podcast, basically. So yeah, thank you for letting us on. I'm a part-time reseller and a full-time mailman, and you guys know me. Most of you guys know me, but what's up? Appreciate you, Kat, letting us on.
Okay, now that Joey got to go big. Joey's go big or go home.
Right?
I know I saw, is your dad in the chat tonight? I haven't seen your dad in a while.
I mean, he should be. I told him.
Joe Garcia, where are you? I saw
Don't
Drew's mom. In the chat. Philly Flipper, Paul, thank you. Okay, here's my dolphin.
Super chat.
And there was another one too, also before we started, from Michael Nicole Pine. So thank you. And Jack's Treasures joined my membership. So thank you too. I appreciate it. Oh, here it is. So she's been watching me, Drew, and I didn't know she was your mom until a couple of weeks ago in one of the lives. She was like, "Oh, I'm Drew's mom," and I'm like, "What?" So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, she's been doing some reselling up in Connecticut. She's taking care of my Grammy right now, so she has some stuff here in Florida. Her house is about 10 minutes away from where I live, 10, 15 minutes. So if she sells anything here where all her stuff is still prior to moving up there temporarily, I go to her house and I pull her sales and I ship them on the weekends. But she's doing really good up there. She finds some crazy stuff. There's people in Connecticut that are constantly giving stuff away for free. So
I don't see much free stuff here. Do you down there? You're not too far from me.
Mm-mm. There's never free stuff here. Never.
Unless it's me giving away the crap I don't want.
Yeah, there's trash or office desks and stuff, but other than that, no.
So much beard, so little space. I'm missing it. I had somebody sent me one so I could fit in with all the resellers. I don't know what I did with that. It was like a mask with a beard attached.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I don't know what I did with it.
I found a free Yamaha drum set, an electric drum set. I think Drew sent it to me, and he lives in Orlando, and I live 2 hours south. And he was like, "Joey, go pick this up." I'm like, "No way!" I had Destiny go pick it up, and we picked that up. It was for free. I haven't
Well, if
listened.
you guys see stuff further north, let me know, because I'm 2 hours north of you guys.
Yeah, I'll let you know if I find some phone soaps.
Yes.
Listen, I had to. Should we tell this story, Joey?
We have to. It's a ritual. We have to.
Okay. So when Joey and I met, I think it was when you first were starting reselling, right,
Yeah.
Joey?
Yeah. It was the first big purchase ever. Even really purchase for in all.
So my first co-host Flip with Chris had sold a phone soap for like what, $200, Joey? I think they were going 150 or 200.
Yep.
And I saw some down in South Florida, and the only person I knew, and me and Joey met from being on Josh's live when Josh was like letting random people go on his channel. That's how Joey and I found each other, was on Josh's channel. And I'm like, Joey, you got to go pick up these phone soaps. And he's like, he didn't know me. And this is like a $600 purchase. I'm like, just listen to me. Just listen to me. Just go pick them up. And he was like scared to go pick them up.
I was like,
Joey,
I don't
you
even
tell
know
the rest.
you.
You tell the rest.
I was like, I don't even know you. Like, I've never spent $300 on anything in my life. Like, it was just like, I was like, there's no way I'm doing this. And I was like, you know what, Kat, you know, I'm into this and I'm so new to it. I was like, let me just go down there. I took my whole family with me, my mom, my dad, all my siblings.
He was scared I was sending him into a trap.
Yeah, so we're going all the way down to Boca, and I get off the exit, and my heart is pumping. Like I'm so scared. It's like a wholesale guy. I walk in, the guy's like, "Hey, what's going on?" I was like, "Hey, I'm picking up like 1,000 phone soaps," and he's like, "Oh, okay, come in the back." And we go towards the back, and I'm looking at him, and we're looking at other things, and I was trying to make a YouTube video, and but yeah, we picked them up, and I picked up like 10. Kat picked up what, like 15 or 20?
20. Yeah, I picked up 20.
And then Chris got like 3 or something like that. And and we picked them up, and I gave him my money, and Kat gave her, like, she did like a PayPal. And then I drove home, and I had all these phone soaps, and I was like, I just spent $300. Are these gonna sell? Like, I have no idea. And I never knew how to like check comps. Like, I had no idea. So I go home, and I'm like, Kat, are these gonna sell? Like, I don't want to sit on these.
He was freaking out.
I was. So then I list them all, and I go home. I'm so pumped. I've never been so excited to take pictures of anything in my life. And I take pictures. I list them all. I have like all different colors. And I go and I list them, and I get an offer for 2 of them for $400. I had them up for like $250. And I was like, Kat, this person has no feedback. I'm not going to accept the offer. Like, this isn't real. Like, this is nuts. Like, I can't do this. And you're like, Joey, just accept. If they don't, so I accepted, and they paid. And I was like, this is awesome. So, yeah.
So he had his money back in like a few hours already after selling 2 of them.
Yeah. So I sold all 10, which was crazy. I made like $1,200 net profit, which was nuts. So thank you.
Yeah, we did good on those for sure.
Yeah.
Chris says 2 of her favorite YouTubers on one screen. I saw she said she scored big on an auction. I won. I spent $900 on an auction. My mom's going to pick it up tomorrow for me. I got a 1962 Picasso poster. It was like a publication poster, and it sold on WorthPoint for $1,080, and I paid $51. So
Wow.
I am like super excited about that. And then I got a bunch of T-shirts.
What did you spend the other 800 on? You said you spent 900, right?
So they were divers. So there was a bunch of diving equipment, like a bunch of Columbia brand new fishing, like pants, fishing shirts, and most of it new with tags. And then actually, Joey, they had a bunch of mail bags, and I've sold like vintage mail collectible stuff before. So they're like the old like 1978 US Mint money bags.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So there's a bunch. And then I got some like underwater wildlife. I feel like these people own like a sporting shop of some type because it was all like diving related.
Mm-hmm.
Renee is watching over on Facebook and says hi to Josh. Hello, Renee.
Hey, Josh.
Hey, Julian.
Josh, you okay over there? It's only 8 o'clock.
Josh is quiet.
I'm good. And I
He's
wake
like,
up
I'm
early.
just-
We woke up at like 5:30 this morning.
I knew he'd be so tired.
I'm not that tired. I'm just like a little tired.
There's my future roommate in a week and a half, Kayla.
Kayla.
Kayla passed me. Don't think I didn't notice. Kayla passed.
It's crazy.
me by about 200 subs now. We keep going, like playing tennis. She'll have more, then I'll have more. We're ping-ponging
awesome.
back and forth. Yeah. Dante says you were celebrating the Great Hall.
Yeah.
Okay, Josh, you got to like drink a bang or something because everybody's worried
I've already
about
had
you
2
now.
today. It just makes me shaky now. It doesn't actually wake me up.
Even in the morning or like at this point in the day?
I had like one at like 11 and the other one at 1. So it doesn't
So it's been a little
keep me
while.
up.
Man, you just drink those like water.
I do. I'm trying to drink water now to
I
dilute
saw you
some of
chugging
the
earlier.
creatine and caffeine in my system.
Marsha, that Tonala picture is listed. It should be in my store now. I have it listed. I have it on my display shelf. So Marsha has been watching me a while, and I did a video at Bargains and Blessings, and her mom volunteers at this thrift store. So now she has her mom watching me. And they like, I love that thrift store. So her mom actually thanked me for like saying good words about her thrift store, which is cool because it's one of my favorite ones to go to.
There's
Drew, are you okay?
Oh, I'm good. Yeah, I was listing live till about 2:30 last night. So I was live on YouTube doing a listing. So I was up till about 2:30 last night live. But my mom just messaged me, and there was a couple other people said they can't see us. So I don't know if everybody else can see us. It doesn't seem like anybody else is saying it, but
Maybe if you guys refresh, I know sometimes like if you're in before it starts and then it starts.
So
yeah, because like
Yeah.
people are saying
I can see
Josh
it fine
looks
on my phone.
exhausted.
Josh, the N64 games, I know that you had posted on Instagram that you sold them.
Yeah.
Were there any games in there that were like crazy that you usually like don't see, or was it just, all your
It wasn't like
typical
any
games?
grails like Earth Invaders or whatever that game is. I think the most valuable game was Mega Man. That was like $65, or maybe one of the more like one. I think one of the Mario Parties, Mario Party 2, maybe it was like a $60 or $70 game. But there were like 2 $60 games, like 3 or 4 $50 games. I mean, it was a real solid haul. Obviously, I spent $20 on everything,
Crazy.
and I had a viewer reach out. It was really cool. He was like, "Hey," he actually works for the San Diego Padres, the baseball team, and he
Sick.
wanted to he was in charge of like their recreation or something. He's like, "Yeah, we would want to get an N64 for like the locker room for them to just like play with," and he bought everything for $600. So I made a lot of money, and he got something cool that he could put. That the N64 that I found is going to be played by, professional baseball players, which I think is pretty cool.
Machado, Tatis, that's nuts. That's
I don't know
actually
who those people are. I barely know who the Padres are. I had to Google it earlier to see like what city they were in. I just Googled Padres and it's like San Diego. I was like, yeah, I guess.
That's funny.
But it was nice.
Yeah,
I probably could have made a little bit more money, like maybe another $150 or so if I listed everything individually. But that was a lot of listing and a lot of fees and a lot of, possible returns or something like that. I mean, I tested everything. Everything worked. But I'm happy to move stuff out.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you can flip it fast, let it go.
20 into 600, not bad.
Yeah, you can't complain about those margins. I had a video I put out a couple months ago where my friend Austin was selling his house and moving to Costa Rica, and he was like had a garage full of stuff, and he's like, "Hey, you want to come rummage through it? Anything you can find, we'll make a deal." So I got a little bit of everything, but one of the things I got was like a box of video games, and there was an N64 with like 4 games or 5 games. I don't remember, but one of them was a Bomberman game, and there's 2 of them. There's Bomberman 64, and then there's another Bomberman. It's like part 2 of the game, and I didn't know until I started pulling the games out and looking them up, but that game is like one of the N64 grails, and I sold it on Mercari for like $265. So, it's just crazy, like, because all the other games were just like, basic, and you just never know like what. When I first started reselling, I started selling. One of the things I did to get me into reselling was I started selling off my Super Nintendo collection. And I was like, I played my Super Nintendo, but I didn't know anything had like mad value. And I started looking up games, and I had an original Earthbound for Super Nintendo. and I sold it in like 5 minutes of listing it for $150. And I was like, okay, I can do this full time. If this is, what people pay this kind of money for stuff.
I don't know if Dale's in there flipping fiasco, and then I'm assuming that question's for you, Drew, where to source near Orlando. Dale found a that is at $525 last time I looked. She paid $4 this past weekend, and she had 5 offers of like $300, and the last one sold for $600, and it's a pink puppy. Like, nothing special about this thing, and it's at $525 with 6 days left.
What?
And I'm like, this is insane.
What is it? You lagged out on my end when you said what it was.
It's a Build-A-Bear pink puppy.
Oh yeah.
$500 for a Build-A-Bear.
Yes.
That's crazy.
I don't.
Any of the times they're like
eBay.
any of them that are retired. Like, I don't remember who it was. I think it was maybe somebody in one of my chats or something, or maybe like one of the times when I opened up the chat to like viewers to jump on. And this girl used to work at Build-A-Bear, and they had like these Valentine's Day bears that were like, I guess, limited edition. And her boyfriend like bought her one as like a Valentine's Day gift, and she didn't really think anything else about it. And then they started selling on eBay a couple of years later, and they were just like looking stuff up around their house. And apparently that had been like a retired one that was only out for a limited time. And I think they sold it for like $600.
I wonder if that one, because it's like a pink puppy with like heart patch around its eye.
That might be the same one.
Yeah, that's funny. So Debbie wants to know where you source near Orlando, Drew.
So I mean, there's so many places in Orlando. It's just like I think she messaged me. Someone messaged me on Instagram and asked me a similar question. But I mean, the best thing to do is just Google thrift stores in your area, and it'll pop up everything, because there's like 2 Salvation Armies in Orlando. There's like 8 or 9 Goodwills within, a 30-mile range in Orlando, from, I mean, I can name all the cities. You have Sanford, Lake Mary, Longwood, Castleberry, Altamont, Apopka, Mount Dora, Kissimmee, Claremont, like Winter Garden. There's so many that there's not really. The big thing that I do is I go to the flea market every Saturday in Orlando. That's like my thing, is I love selling shoes. And so I go to the flea market, and all the Haitian women in Orlando go to the bins, and they fight everybody for clothing and shoes. And then a lot of them set up tents and sell at the flea market on Saturdays. And so I let them do all the work at the bins, and then I just come buy them out for a couple dollars more.
Yeah.
My average buy cost on a pair of shoes at the flea market's like $8, and they're spending, $2 to $3 on a pair of shoes or more at the bin. So they're only making a couple bucks per pair. But I mean, I guess that's their business model. So
right.
It works for me. It works for them. And, I love the flea markets. I get a lot of video games and electronics at the flea market too. So you just never know what you're going to find. But I mean, you could buy storage units. There's 3 different flea markets in Orlando, and then there's tons of thrift stores. So there's plenty of places to source.
Josh, did you test all the games?
I did. Yeah. I didn't, not extensively. I mean, I blew in them, turned them on, went through the home screen, and made sure all the, left, right, up, down, B, and all those buttons worked. I think there were, I don't remember how many games it was. Maybe 16 or 17, maybe. But there was 3 of them that I couldn't get to work, and it was the 3 least valuable ones. I'm like, all right, that's awesome. It was they're all $11 to $15 free shipping games.
Yeah, that works. I'm trying to get this to work. Krau's House, Sift and Thrift. Do any of us sell lots or just individual items?
I personally just sell individual items.
This is what happens on the podcast, where we start talking, and then there's a brief 1 or 2 second gap. So we all try to start saying something, and then we just mess it up.
It happens. I've started doing more lots because I want to be at a $20 plus value. So if I have I just got a bunch of Disney plush, and so I put all the characters from the same movie in lots together where they're selling for 25 to 30 versus 8 to 10 a piece. So I have tried, and my dishware too. If a plate sells for $8, I'll put a lot of 2 together, so I get $15, $20 instead of a lower sale.
Nice.
I think it depends on the type of item that you're selling and how you've sourced it too. Like, for example, I picked up a PlayStation 3, an Xbox 360, and a GameCube on Facebook Marketplace yesterday. And it's kind of like what Josh had with the N64 games. It's like most of the games that you get in bundles like that are what I refer to as pickle games. They don't really have much value in and of themselves, and they're not really worth listing for $10 free shipping. But they add a lot of value as a bundle. Like, you can sell a bundle, an Xbox 360 with 12 games, you know, and it'll bring the value up like sometimes $40 to $60. Whereas, you know, you really wouldn't even get that for the games individually after fees and shipping and all that kind of stuff. So I do bundles like that, but most of my stuff I list individually. So
we're like, Josh, you sound. We're all like, huh? I'm not feeling well. I'm kind of zoned out tonight. So Josh,
No, I will sell lots of items. It just depends. I don't go out of, like, I have like a whole box. I have 2 tubs. One tub is in my garage is filled with like Nintendo Wii stuff, and the other one's filled with Xbox 360 stuff. And I probably have enough. I know I have 4 Xbox 360s right now that I need to like bundle up and make sure I have cords for. And like a lot of those games, like the Xbox games that I picked up, well, I actually sold those, but I picked them up with the intention of making a bundle with them because they were only $1. A couple of them weren't worth very much. But again, adding games to a bundle usually increases the value of the bundle more than the actual games are worth. Especially like Rock Band stuff. And Rock Band 3 is a good game, but Rock Band 1 is like a $10 game. But you could probably ask another $20-$25 for Rock Band bundle if it has a game disc with it versus if it didn't.
I know some people that keep like cords and like blank VHS tapes to sell with like the combo units and stuff for basically the same reason. Like it bumps it up.
One time at the Goodwill Bins, I found it was like a whole cardboard box filled with brand new AV cables, like the red, white, and yellow cables. There was probably 200 of them, but it was by the pound. I'm like, this is very expensive. And I had only been reselling for like 6 months. I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to find this many VCRs. But looking back, I probably should have bought them because they were all brand new. And it would have been electronics, which is only 50 cents a pound. So it might have only been
pretty low.
$20 for like 200 of them.
Yeah, I think having accessories, I think that's one way to capitalize on, you know, a couple of things when it comes to eBay or Mercari or any reselling platform. To be honest, first of all, the best way to make your listings stick out is to go above and beyond. And I think Dominic, Primetime Treasure Hunter, made a video about that specifically, like how to make your items stick out. And it's doing those small things like having AV cables and a blank VHS tape where it's really only $1. And usually you can find them at Goodwill in packs of 6 for $1.99 and they're brand new. And you just add that to your listing and it makes, it just makes your listing look a lot nicer or a lot cleaner or a lot more valuable because, obviously the remote is something that everybody looks for with those combo units. But if you don't have that and you can add an AV cable and a VHS tape, it doesn't take up much more space in a box when you ship it. And, it just gives you a better chance of having it. The Rock Band is a perfect example. It's one of my favorite things to sell. And you can sell a drum set for $69.99 and you can sell a guitar for $59.99. But if you bundle them together as a set where someone can get both at the same time and you throw a $5 game in there, you can sell for $200.
Yeah.
And it's
something else I do with electronics like VCRs and like that Korg cassette recorder that I picked up last week. You can go online and print off instruction manuals. Like with the Korg, I'm going to have blank cassettes with that. I'm going to try to find some like headphones, like cheap headphones to add to it and the instruction manual. Because if you've got 2 listings that are both the exact same price, or even one that's like $10 or $20 more, like, $400 versus $375 or something. And the $400 one is in really great condition with blank tapes, with headphones, with the instruction manual. Most people are going to go for that one.
Right.
And you can print off an instruction manual for free, other than ink and paper.
Yeah, and just print it out. Deb wants to know if anyone has updated the item specifics. I actually did, believe it or not. I had 256, and I was like bored sitting on the couch, and I went through only required, now not recommended. Recommended, I have like 1,500. I'm not even dealing with that. But I did get through my 256 of the required. I said I wasn't going to do it, and then it was bugged. I got them done.
I see in the chat Jen's Closet Gems. She said, "Do any of y'all use stock photos?" I would love to talk about that because I think way too many people use stock photos. You can ask Anfisa. I think she's been dinged a few times for stock photos.
Far North, yeah, Far North.
I've seen it a lot with Poshmark resellers that switch to eBay. You can use, I mean, you're not supposed to, but you can use stock photos on Poshmark much more frivolously.
Yeah, Posh doesn't seem to care. I see tons of stock photos on Posh.
I understand like the convenience of it, but eBay will ding you. Maybe not every time. It's like the Vero program. Sometimes you can sell stuff, sometimes you can't. But I would definitely not recommend using any sort of stock photos on eBay.
So Josh, sorry,
yes, Joe.
So Destiny has been watching Hustle at Home Mom, and she says it's okay to do that. So Destiny, she's been using stock photos, and I'm like, Des, I think you should take that off. She's like, no, not Hustle and Hooks. Hustle at Home Mom, says that it's okay. So I'm like, I don't know.
I love Ashley to death, and I think she's a great reseller. But I personally would not use stock photos. I mean, even Anfisa still does it sometimes because she posted like sales the other day on Instagram, and like the main photo of the sale was a stock photo. So again, Josh, you're not going to get dinged every time, but I'm surprised Ashley hasn't yet because she sells only clothing.
So what if you have like the main photo of like, let's say a dress or whatever it is? What if you just have that first and then the second picture? I mean, I guess we don't know, but like the second picture be like a stock photo.
Anfisa's in the chat. She says she always uses her first photo as her own photo.
Right.
But I don't know. And somebody says, why do they provide stock photos if they aren't? Why do they provide stock photos if they don't allow you to use them? I don't think companies like just put stock photos online with like a downloadable link. I think most people probably just take a screenshot or something and like edit it out. But yeah, like I said, Poshmark, Mercari, I think it's more lenient, but I would not do it on eBay.
I think the problem with the stock photos, in my opinion, is that you're trying to, in my opinion, sell the dream item to a buyer, like that this item is brand new from the department store or from the website, or just because it has a model, like a pretty model that's wearing the dress or the leggings or whatever. To me, it's misleading because it's most of the time inaccurate unless it's brand new with tags, and then you're selling unrealistic expectations because I get people. Not all the time, but consistently that buy something and they don't read the description, like that it's a used DVD combo unit. And they just say, oh, I thought this was a brand new unit, because I take good pictures. They just think that it's a new unit or something. And it's like, to me, I think that you're overselling it by using stock photos. There's no reason for it, in my opinion, but that's
I think too with like the DVDs, so because I bought the 1,000 DVDs because I'm crazy. Like that stuff, eBay prompts you to use the stock photo and like offers it because it's in their catalog, but we don't. And I have my niece doing that. I'm making her put it on like a different color background, like red or blue or something, so we stick out from the people using that stock photo with like a white background, like it's not, just that. And it seems like that seems to, like, we're selling like 2 or 3 a day, and I think we only have a couple hundred up right now. But and books too, like I never use, even when eBay gives you the option, which in that case it would be okay if you're using the stock photo, not like clothes where you're stealing a screenshot. But your book isn't going to look exactly like that stock photo, so you might have a really ticked off buyer if you use a stock photo and your book isn't in the same condition as the stock photo.
Yeah, I agree with Troy. I think that Troy also said if you're using stock photos, you're being lazy. I mean, that's just my opinion. Like there's no reason to not take pictures of the actual item that you're sending somebody. You have to, because I really don't think like even, I mean, let's just use this for example, right? Some vintage pencils, they're brand new, like, dead stock in the package. but my package has, you know, some marks here and stuff like that. If you just use a stock photo, if a stock photo came up and mine has these marks and a collector is buying this, that's a major flaw for a collector who wants something like this. And it just because they're still sealed doesn't mean that people don't care about like what the actual product, like the condition of it. I mean,
so
Yeah.
I was thinking about like things that it's not really a stock photo, but it's if you have a bunch of the same items, but the items are like unique in creation. Like Chris Daily Refinement said one of his students or something one time, she was selling a lot of like handmade turquoise jewelry. And when you're making, you know, it might just be the same necklace made with the same chain, the same setting, but it's turquoise. So it's not going to be exactly the same every single time. And she was like, had one picture of the necklaces and then, you know, in the description, just put like, hey, these are handmade. It may not look exactly like the one pictured. So just know that. And she was selling a lot, like thousands of dollars a day in necklaces and jewelry. And enough people like filed INAD claims against her because they got necklaces that didn't look like the one pictured, that her eBay account got dinged. And so she had like the increased final value fee, like 13% to 15% or whatever it is. When you're doing that kind of volume, that's significant. I mean, I think it ended up being like a $4,000 or $5,000 hit for like 90 days. And I have these, somebody actually gave them to me. These are like signed pictures of the guys from the captains from the Time Bandit ship from Discovery Channel's hit TV show Deadliest Catch. And they're all signed. I've got like 41 of these and like 20 something of another picture of them. But obviously, like with signed stuff, it's not going to be exactly the same. And so I have one picture and I put in the listing like, hey, these are signed, you know, every signature's, it's in the same spot on the picture, but it's not going to be exactly the same. So I was kind of worried about that, but I don't think there's a huge market for signed pictures of Captain Andy and Captain Jonathan. So I'm not super worried about it, but I thought that was an interesting situation because what is she supposed to do? You know, she can't take pictures of every single necklace she sells.
Right. Yeah. And it was her own picture, not like, I've seen where they put like it may vary or whatever, you know, like that for like the jewelry where they're making each individual piece. But I guess if people are complaining, and somebody said if eBay is offering you to use them, then why can't you? You can for some, but a lot of, I think what Josh is talking about are not ones where eBay's offering you that stock photo.
No.
It's ones where you're taking it, a screenshot or whatever. And again, if it's not brand new in the package, they're going to expect a brand new item or whatever that stock photo looks like. And like they can say you're stealing their pictures. Like what if that company, like I know like Best Buy, for example, if you did like an electronics picture and took a, you know, camera picture, Best Buy sells on eBay. So like they're going to be ticked if they see that and they're going to ding you for that. You know, a lot of bigger companies, I've even found with the collectibles, some of the companies like still make these items and sell them on eBay. So if you go steal their picture and you're selling their item for cheaper, they're not going to be too happy with you. And I want to real quick say thank you to Chris for the super chat. I have only missed one show in a year and a half, so I have to be like almost like dying to not be here, guys. I am here. I've been here all but 1 week, and I was really, really sick that week. So
last night, Joey was a couple minutes late.
I haven't heard of that. Have any of you guys heard of that? eBay deleted one of my listings saying I needed to put cleaned and sanitized in the description of one of my pre-owned items.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, I've never heard that. I can't think of any. I've never heard of it.
What's up, Pat D's?
Julian said he'll buy one of your signed photos. He really didn't say that, but he said he likes the captain.
I actually, the lady who gave them to me, she's like, I don't know if these are worth anything, but you know, you can have them. I'm like, I'll sell them. I think I have them listed for like $15 free shipping. I had to get like special, like thick envelopes to ship them in. But I've already sold like 6 or 7 for like 15 free shipping, you know, $0 cost into them. Super easy. I just have a stack of them over there. If it takes me 2 years to sell them all, I'm fine with it.
Cheryl says she keeps hearing doom and gloom stories of how eBay is slowly dying. Do you have a backup plan for if that happens? I will tell you, I've heard that. that for years. And there are eBay, but people said that 3 or 4 years ago, and I made over $100,000 2 years in a row. So there are going to be slow times, but I agree with like not putting all your eggs in one basket. Like I sell on Facebook and Mercari too. I would just adapt and overcome. Like I would push harder on the other platforms if my eBay was slowing down. How do you guys feel about that?
I mean, I don't think eBay is ever going to go away unless the company shuts down, but I don't think it ever will. I mean, it's like Amazon, it's the best used selling platform out there. I mean, other than Mercari, I feel like Mercari is going to take over eBay one day, but I mean, it's like Pepsi and Coke,
I agree.
I think they need to like market to more people. It's funny because my niece is 20 that is listing for me. And when she came over, like I told her like download the eBay app, and like we're looking at it and she's like, I've never seen this. Like she had never been on or seen eBay. She's
eBay's
20.
marketing is garbage.
And that right there says something.
Their entire marketing department has no idea what they're doing. We have an eBay billboard in our town that is, I don't even know what it says. This is stupid. I'm like, why are you wasting money on freaking billboards? Like, I don't understand. Mercari is advertising like crazy. I mean, they're paying influencers for videos. They're advertising on YouTube. Like that's where people are. eBay is just behind on the times in marketing and, their user interface and a lot of things. And I get it. It's not easy to like overhaul that system. But I don't know.
I think
stop
that
asking for item specifics, I'm gonna freak out.
I think every reselling platform has its flaws, and my take on this is pretty aggressive. So I hope I don't offend anybody in the chat. But my opinion is if you're constantly being negative about reselling platforms and complaining about fees or this or that or changes being made, like you really need to rethink reselling because there are always going to be changes. There's always going to be updates. There's always going to be flaws. I mean, you're paying another platform, to make money. Like, I don't agree with everything eBay does, but at the same time, like eBay helps me pay my bills and provide for my family. If eBay wasn't there, I can honestly say I probably wouldn't be making as much money as I am, and
no, I agree with that.
It's no disrespect to anybody, but I just can't stand negative, people that just always just want to talk garbage about platforms and slow sales. Like there's so many things that you can do to increase your sales. You can boost posts, you can sponsor, you can cross list, you can run sales on your items. There's so many ways to make money online and reselling that
I saw a Gary V Instagram post today, and it was talking about people that like complain and like talk about all their excuses in business, and they say, I'm just keeping it real. He's like, yeah, you're keeping it real effing pessimistic.
Yeah.
Like nobody cares about your excuses. Nobody cares about your slow sales. Like, I mean, I get people, emailing me and DM me like, oh, I've listed 9 things and nothing is sold yet. What am I doing wrong? I'm like, you haven't started. You haven't done anything. 9 things. Like, no,
I didn't see regular sales till I had 500.
Like, and I get it. I don't have a lot of things listed, but I also sell a lot of stuff. I can't think of anybody who has a higher sell-through rate than me, which is like 150% right now.
Tim.
I'm not even at 50%.
Does Tim has a higher sell-through rate than me? I thought his was like 100.
Okay, if you don't count viewer sales, Tim probably has a higher sell-through rate.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. But that's part of the business,
Yeah, of course it is. It's a different business model. It's exactly what I was saying. But again, like I said, no disrespect to anybody, but complaining is not going to make you more sales. Like that's the real issue there is, complaining about your sales being slow or complaining about eBay is behind on the times or being negative that, you hate eBay's, this or that. Like, then get off eBay and sell somewhere else or adapt. Like you're gonna have to work around it. It's just there's so many ways to make money online that if eBay's not for you, eBay's not for you. I posted on my Instagram the other day. It was like 11 o'clock at night, and I hadn't reached my goal for like my daily listings. And I posted, I was like, not gonna lie, I really don't feel like listing right now. But you know what? This is what I have to do. It's my job, and I need to suck it up, discipline myself, and list. And then I woke up the next morning and one of the items that I listed sold for full price, and it makes it all worth it. So, to all you guys out there, you can do it. I believe in you.
Here's a question for Joey. This comes from Teresa Lamb Ramirez. Starting out, what is a realistic amount of items to list a day? I have many items of my own and enough to keep me busy for a while. Joey, what's a realistic number of items to list in a day?
I mean, for me, for right now, I've only been listing on my Monday Night Lives. I'll be honest, but
so like 3 things a week.
But I mean, well, no. I mean, like I try to shoot for at least one a day. I mean, that's my goal. And I'm a part-time reseller. I have a full-time job, but I mean, for the people out there, they're trying to make side income. Make sure you're looking up comps, right? That's what I do. I don't buy stuff just to buy it. I really make sure that comps are right. And so yeah, but I have Destiny going full-time, which she's been listing every day. And she lists about 10 a day, which is her goal right now. And then she'll up it in the future, but she's just trying to focus on 10 a day. So
that's awesome. It's so funny you said like looking up comps. I had somebody comment on my video with Tim, and they're like, why are you like, it was the part of the video we were saying we didn't have service in the store to look stuff up. So we went outside to like check comps. And he was like, why are you checking comps? Like, I thrift all the time. I just buy stuff. Like, I'm not wasting any time looking up stuff. I'm spending my time thrifting. So, yeah, I might like have to throw away 1 or 2 items, but I'm making like an extra $1,000 a day because I'm not looking up comps. I'm like, you're an idiot.
Was that Joey?
What your death file looks like.
Was that Joey that commented that?
No.
I've been reselling for years, and I still comp.
Yeah. Like if it's something like I didn't, I found the Black & Decker Space Maker can opener, so I don't need to look up comps on that because I know that's good. But he's like, yeah, I'm just good at reselling. I just see stuff and just think it's valuable, and I'm right like 90% of the time. I'm like, that's still like 10% of the time you're wrong. How much crap are you buying, man, that you're just like having to toss?
I'll be right back. My camera's dying, so I'm switching to my phone.
Yeah.
If you're not looking up comps, then in my opinion, you need to rethink reselling, because you have to know like the sell-through rate is so important right now because there's a lot of people reselling. And if you're buying, something and you're just seeing like, oh, this is a cool item, it should sell. Like, that's not a way to run a business. Like, you have to know your numbers, know your margins, know how much money you are buying it for and selling it for. Like, if you're buying stuff for $8 and selling it for $16 free ship, you're not making money. You're wasting time.
Yeah.
But if you're buying
the idea that if you didn't spend 30 seconds looking up an item and you just bought it, you would save time to like thrift more. Like, it's such a minute amount of time to look up something on eBay. Like, it literally takes less than 30 seconds for anything. I'm like, just look it up, especially if you go to like the bin stores, like me and Dante and stuff. Like, you have to look up stuff there. Cause I mean, I've found stuff and oh, this is really good. And then you look it up and I'm gated on Amazon and it's, eBay's flooded because it hit all the bin stores in the same week. And now there's 100 of them and 2 have sold.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have to look up stuff.
Yeah. 100%.
Amphisa says, are you going to list after this live? And probably not.
I'll be listing Anfisa. Send me a DM. I'll motivate you.
Somebody in the chat earlier, I don't remember who it was, but they asked, like, what do we do with stuff that doesn't sell, like in our death pile or stuff that's been listed, or because I have stuff that I've listed that I should probably just like redonate. That's just not going to sell, and I have also stuff unlisted that I'm not motivated to list because it's not worth anything. So, what do you guys do with those types of items?
Like, I just cleaned out my my eBay room, and I just kind of either donate it back to Goodwill or any like a Salvation Army, or I'll just throw it away. I mean, if it's just really not that valuable, that's what I do. Drew, what do you do?
I usually just lower prices on stuff or run sales. Like, I saw Lonnie Garage Flips. He made a really good video a while back about how to run like a pyramid sale. I don't, that's not the right term for it, but like a tiered sale. So what he showed was like anything that's been listed 0 to 30 days, 10% off, 31 to 60 days, 15% off, 61 to 90 days, 20% off, so on and so forth, all the way until you get down to like 365 to 999 days, 40% off. And then
I think that's how Flashback Finds does it too. I don't know
Yeah.
if Cameron's in the chat. I think he does that same model.
So I saw him do that, and that's what I do every once in a while now. But I mean, as much as I love moving inventory, I am trying to buy stuff that has good comps and good sell-through rates, but I list a lot of stuff. So I'm okay with having stuff in my shed, in my inventory, and it's not like I'm not mad if something doesn't sell in 30 days, because sometimes like the sell-through rate is great, but if you have a women's size 9 and the person that wants that shoe is a women's size 8, you have to wait until women's size 9 comes around. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it just may not sell in 30 days. So yeah, I don't donate stuff back to Goodwill. In the 2 years I've been reselling, I've never donated anything back to Goodwill.
I just let mine sit. The only thing that I donate to my free people that come and pick up is stuff that I'm like, I don't want to list it. I don't want to list it. I don't want to list it. So I've like touched it like repeatedly and never listed it. For me, if it's listed, it's going to sit there till it sells. Like I have plenty of room. It's just going to sit there. And I do lower the prices and look at that occasionally. But like I do a lot of the glass and collectibles, and it's almost like not the same as shoes, but like I need that one person that's missing that one plate or that one cup, that's going to pay what I'm asking for it. Bayou Vintage Mama, how do you manage your time to do everything you need to do in your business? Sourcing, photographing, listing, organizing, shipping, sales, and finances. That's a long question.
Josh made a video about this and used a Rock Band drum set to tell you how to do it.
You got to be a slob. You've got to be a slob. SLOB. I broke down the reselling process into 4 elements, not including shipping or customer service, but sourcing, listing, organization, and bookkeeping. And I think I think ideally you should probably do all of those like back to back, like source it, list it, organize, and bookkeep. If you do that, you'll never be behind. Personally, I probably like source, list, source, list, organize, bookkeep, source. But but those are the 4 aspects. How you divide it up to your time, it just depends on how much time you have. I'm full time, so I have church on Sundays and spend time with my wife. And other than that, I've got all the time in the world. So like today, I played golf, came home, I filmed the end of today's video, finished editing today's video, uploaded it, responded to comments, packed up some orders, went to the post office, came home, photographed stuff, and listed 15 things, and then did the dishes after Haley cooked dinner, and then now I'm doing this thing. So I'm not a person that has like a set schedule every day. I just kind of do what needs to be done.
Each person is different in this question, which is why I think it's a lot to answer. And there's really no right answer, because for me, I have a wife and 2 kids. I go to church on Wednesdays and Sundays. I like playing disc golf with my friends on Saturdays, after I go to the flea market. And so, it just really depends on what your business model is. Are you full-time? Are you part-time? Are you wanting to make $100,000 a year? Are you wanting to make $50,000 a year? Are you a clothing seller? Are you a video game seller? Are you, retail arbitrage like Ross and Marshalls? There's so many ways to do everything, but I think that you have to do everything almost every day. Like, I learned from my dad that, he keeps a day timer in his car. He sells barns, like horse barns and stuff, but he keeps a day timer in his car with his appointments. He's kind of old school, but he writes everything down. He'll write how much mileage he uses. At the end of the day, he doesn't get out of his car until he writes down how many miles he drove in his day timer for the day. He writes down his receipts for the day, and he says it takes him like 5 to 7 minutes a day, but he doesn't get out of his truck until he does it. And if you can find the discipline to take an extra 5 minutes a day to put all your receipts in your Google Sheets, and to I write down my sales in my Google Sheets spreadsheet, sponsored by Hustle and Hooks. Love their spreadsheet. It does everything for you, but I do that as I'm shipping stuff. So it takes me longer to ship, but I put it in my spreadsheet as I'm shipping it, so I know exactly how much the shipping was. I don't have to try to go back and find it. I don't have to write it down on a piece of paper. So, if you're doing the processes as it happens, then it, in my opinion, it saves you time. But what happens is then people get death piles, then they don't list stuff, then they let their receipts pile up for 3 months, and then their taxes are a mess. And it's like, it's just compounding. So it's just a matter of discipline for everything and figuring out your lifestyle.
Yeah, like I work the 3 days a week. So I will typically take photos the night before, where if work is slow or on my lunch hour, I have like 10 items to list. So I'm listing 10 on the days that I'm working, and I list at least 20 on the days that I'm not. I'm a workaholic. I've always been a workaholic since I was like 15. And like, I'm like, go, 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 go. I pay an accountant to keep track of like all of my sales and my profit. I don't deal with that at all. So that kind of puts the bookkeeping out of my way. And like my mom cross posts for me. So I pay my mom for that. And now I've just started like having my niece list stuff, but she can't list like my rare glass and collectibles. She would have no idea what to search for or how to list it. So like she's doing more simple things like the DVDs, and she did the Disney plush stuff basically with tags that she knows, you know, what it is and how to list it. But that doesn't like alleviate that off me. I'm hoping for that to like bump, you know, grow the business, not like take place of me doing it. Like I'll still be doing it.
What are, if you don't mind me asking, what are you paying your niece to list stuff?
So I am paying her 11 an hour because that's what she was making. She lost her job. And my mom asked me if I could. My mom, I pay $50 a day, and she might work like 3 hours a day, but it's my mom. And she watches Dalton like for me to pack. So Monday, if I have 40 orders going out, you know, she'll take Dalton outside to play. So she's watching him plus cross posting. But for my niece, I'm doing 11 an hour. I was wanting to do by the item. I tried 2 years ago to find somebody to help me like buy the item to list, and nobody wanted to do it. And my only concern was if I paid by the hour, I would get somebody that, you know, was kind of slacking and not wanting to work. But my niece, who had never been on eBay, like I said earlier, like the first day she came, she listed 45 DVDs in 3 hours. And that's with edited pictures. She edited, changed the background color, like used the background remover and everything. Because I wanted her to get used to the background remover for when we move into like more expensive stuff. And so 45. And then I calculated like the Disney plush in 5 hours. So what, $55? She listed $716 of listings on Disney plush. So it might take a little while, you know, for that stuff to sell. A lot of it has like several DVDs and some of the Disney plush, and she just started 2 weeks ago, but it's going to be like over time before my actual average goes up, you know, because I am not a super fast sell-through like you guys are. Mine is like 30 to 40%. Mine's pretty low.
I'm really a firm believer in, you know, paying somebody or outsourcing things that you are not good at. You know, I pretty much do everything on my own for the business because I'm not at a position right now where I feel like it's beneficial for me because I love the process of reselling. So like there's not any part of it that I dread. I mean, nobody like wakes up in the morning going, let me do my receipts today, you know, but I don't hate it to the point where I can't do it and it's worth it for me to pay. But I do believe that, you know, certain people like, you know, if you're at a point financially where you can afford to pay somebody and it's worth it, you know, like, you know, Josh and I were talking about Hammock the other day. It's a cross listing app. If you don't want to cross list, but you want to cross list, but you don't want to do it yourself, you can pay Hammock 45 cents an item to cross list those items for you. If they're cross listing on 3 platforms, it's $1.20 or $1.30. If that's worth it to you, then pay Hammock to do it and stop complaining about cross listing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I love cross listing. So it's just
something I put off for the longest time was like outsourcing that because I really like being in control of everything in my business. But like growing your
it's
business,
hard to let the control go. It's so hard. So hard.
But I haven't fully jumped on board with Hammock yet. I've only been using them for like a week, but so far it's awesome. I mean, it's like my like you can just literally send them pictures and they'll just list stuff for you. But I've been like listing stuff on eBay and then paying them to cross post to Poshmark and Mercari. And it so far, I mean, it's awesome. They're super fast. They also do delisting for you. That's part of the cross posting process. Right now it's like it's like an overnight thing. So basically, every morning they go through what you sold on eBay and then take that down on Poshmark and Mercari. But so far, I mean, it's awesome. It's definitely worth the 45 cents per platform, so 90 cents per item to cross post. And if I get to a point where I want even more free time, I can just send them the pictures and they'll actually do all the listing.
Yeah, there's another one that does that too, right?
Sellhound is another one, but they just started golf clubs. I actually just got an email from them today. They're like, "Hey, Harry, we just started golf clubs." I'm like, "Did you do that for me specifically?" I don't know that there's a huge demand for that, but until today, they only did like fashion, like shoes and shirts.
You guys are working overtime in the chat, I see. So thank you. they're getting hit like crazy all of a sudden, and then they're accidentally hiding our people. They're so busy hiding. So thank you guys for grabbing. I'm not even seeing what it was, but I see a whole bunch of hidden and deleted comments, like a bunch. So thank you guys for doing that.
It's called Hammock, HAMMOQ or UQ, HAMMOQ, I think. Flip the World, TX, Chris, he's a big proponent of Hammock, and Ryan and Lindsay, who are the full-time shoe resellers, they use Hammock as well. And Chris was on my live last night, my live listing. If you go back and watch like the last probably 30 minutes of it, we were talking about Hammock. It'll give you a bunch of details that he shares, but you can literally have Hammock do as much or as little as you want, and you don't have to pay for that service. Like you can sign up and say, I just want you to cross list, or I want you to do everything from start to finish.
Yeah, they're very open. Like Flippy McFlipperson said, how are they with hard goods? Like from my experience, like you can list whatever you want on eBay because I'm putting in the pictures and all the details and all that stuff. And they already have it. So they don't have to know how to list golf clubs or VCRs because all the information is on eBay. All they're doing is
they're just copying it.
They're just copying and paste stuff that I don't want to spend my time doing that, So
that's why I have my mom do that, because my mom basically needed extra income. And I'm like, I can't just give my mom money. I need to get like something. Yeah. So she'll cross post for however long, whether it's 2 hours or 3, and then take a nap on the couch and whatever. I got something out of it, right? So that it's a good thing.
If my mom was interested, I would hire her as well, but she's not.
She's almost caught up with me though. She's almost got all 2,600 items cross posted. So then I'm gonna have to figure out another job because my mom was trying to list for me and her pictures were awful. I love my mom, but like she can't take, like the only thing I could give her was like maps or DVD. It had to be flat things, like nothing 3-dimensional at all.
Yeah.
And I quit. I'm like, okay, we got to find something else. So I don't know after the cross posting is caught up. Unless maybe my niece will step it up. Then my niece can list, my mom can cross post. I don't know, but
there's so many questions in the chat.
Yeah, there's Joey. I want you to tackle this. Well, somebody just said, how much money do you have to make to file taxes? $1 in profit, and you
1 penny
file taxes. 1 penny, yeah, technically.
Yes.
I don't know. This is not tax advice.
Dominic,
Joey,
treasure
says, do you guys keep track of each item or just money in and money out? What do you use?
Say it again.
I do money in, money out.
I do too, personally.
Say it again.
Do you keep track of each individual item that you guys sell, or do you just keep track of like your total in times total out?
We do. Me and Destiny do each item.
I do as well. I do it as like if I buy bulk though, I do it as like a average buy cost. So like if I go to the flea market and I buy 49 pairs of shoes, I do an average buy cost of how much it costs me per item.
Right.
So it's for me, it's better because I like to know how much profit I'm making individually versus just like, oh, I spent 5,000 this month and I made 9,000. Like to me, I can't live with that mindset. Like I got to know like, oh yeah, I bought this Wii for $20 and I sold it for 110. I like that feeling of knowing how much profit I make per item.
Yeah, it's just a personal, like for legal, like taxes, not tax advice. The IRS only cares about your total profit. They don't care if the profit came from Wii or shoes or whatever. They just care about your total monthly profit, total yearly profit.
Right.
But it's a good idea to keep up with your individual profit per item just to make sure you're profitable, or not when you see what's wrong.
I know in my head, people ask me that all the time, but I'll remember like the buy, because most of the time mine are in lots, so I'll know I got like $5 into that, and especially the higher cost items that I pay up for, I remember what I paid for it. But my bottom line is just the money in, money out, because I don't have time. I'm working full time. I've got Dalton, and for me that extra time is just time that I don't want to spend. But I think that's a good point though, like Josh is saying he's doing it, and then Joey and Drew are saying they do it the opposite. But that's the cool thing about reselling, like you can each make your own business and like kind of build it if you're just learning. If you're just learning, then you can, pick out from these different resellers. There are plenty of them on YouTube, and kind of build your own, your own method and what works for you. Let me give the dolphin. I haven't given the dolphin again. Super chat. Thank you.
Josh Conru really wants you to put out a podcast, buddy.
Yeah,
Conru, I'm going to put out the freaking podcast.
I've been laughing this whole time. Conru is
I've seen all those. Can your mom post it for you?
I'm going to pay my mom to edit the podcast.
Which platforms do you guys sell on? I do eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, and Facebook Marketplace.
Same here. Only recently, as of the last week.
I was doing Amazon and I stopped. Me and Amazon, just the way I source and Amazon don't go together well.
I sell on almost everywhere. I sell on eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, Depop, and Facebook Marketplace. But I list different things on different platforms. So I list on platforms. I list certain items on certain platforms that I know sell well. Like I put vintage clothing and like hype shoes like Jordans and Nike Dunks and things like that on Depop, and then I put all of my shoes on eBay, Poshmark, and clothing on eBay and Poshmark, and then video games and most shoes go on Mercari, and then hard goods, bigger items, video games, things like that go on Facebook as well. So I kind of just feel it out for what I've seen sales work out on certain platforms. Like I don't list clothing on Facebook Marketplace right now, but I love selling on different platforms. I mean, the different platforms and the different buyers are just, it's like a, I don't know how to explain it to me. It's like a rush, like, knowing that there's a buyer on every platform for something. And if you're missing out on that, like people have FOMO of missing out at the thrift store. I have FOMO if I don't cross list and I'm missing a buyer.
I was on Grailed and Grailed kicked me off, and I don't know why. Like I sold one thing or two things and the people never paid, and Grailed like deactivated my account, and I don't know why. And I never looked into it because I don't do that much like vintage clothing and shoes. So Kat does not need a gummy bear in her life. Maybe Josh needs a gummy bear.
I do like gummy bears.
What am I missing about the gummy bears here?
There's some hot gummy bear challenge between like Lonnie, I think Matt, Part-Time Pickers. I heard I was told today by one of my viewers that Kevin mentioned me in his video. I have not watched that video yet, so I'm not obligated to anything. I haven't seen it, but apparently there's some challenge going on with like really hot gummy bears.
Oh, that sounds gross.
Someone asked earlier, how do we handle receipts at flea markets and garage sales when there's not like a physical receipt? I will say this again, not tax advice, but typically not tax advice. The IRS does not require evidence to support purchases of less than $75. So if you go to a yard sale and you spend $3 on something and you sell it for $500, just claim your $497 in profit and pay taxes on that. The IRS isn't going to require proof of a $3 purchase. Again, not tax advice. I'm not an accountant, but
my accountant told me like I pull out like $200 to go like to garage sailing or flea market or whatever, and I just tell him
cash transaction.
Right, like I tell him, and then he just puts 200 like out for buy cost.
Yeah,
and I mean I haven't had any issue, but like Josh said, not tax advice. That's my accountant choosing to do that.
I said that one time in a video, and this guy commented, and he's like, I've been audited 4 times, and every time the IRS requires receipts for like 50-cent purchases. I'm like, you're lying, because there's no way you've been audited 4 times unless you're like a millionaire making millions of dollars a year. And the IRS does not care about 50-cent items. Like, that's basically free. Like, as long as if you file your taxes and say, hey, I paid 50 cents for this thing, it sold for 100. I'm paying tax on that. Why would they want a proof of that? That's basically free. That's all. You can't, if you get it less than that, you're not going to owe very much more in taxes. And if you paid more than that, you would owe less in taxes. Why would you lie about that? So I think if you go to a yard sale and you buy something for $1,000 and you sell it for $2,500, then yeah, you'd probably need to get a bill of sale and get the person's signature on it, and have some pretty significant documentation there. But if you buy something for like those video games, I paid $20 for those, sold them for $600. I have a video of it if the IRS really wants to see it happen. But
here's the proof.
There's the proof if you want it. That
I mean,
it should be counted. He's an accountant.
Your spreadsheet either way. Like if you're spreadsheeting, it should
I
still
don't
be
believe in
documented.
spreadsheets, Drew.
So
I really don't.
Yeah, we're not interested in that. We use GoDaddy bookkeeping, total money in, total money out.
Don't have hustling hooks on this live then.
No spreadsheets here. No, I'm not my accountant. I've had him for 2 years. He goes into my business bank account. He looks at the transactions. If he doesn't know if it was for supplies or like when I was doing like retail arbitrage, he'd be like, hey, is this supplies or was that items to resell? I'd tell him, he'd categorize it, and then we're done. Like that's
yeah.
I keep
when
it
I
in
was
my
thrifting
head.
with Tim in Utah, like he was saving all his receipts, and I was just like crumpling them up and throwing them on the ground, because it'd be like one store I'd spend $5-6, and he's like, "You don't save your receipts?" I'm like, "No." He got so like worried for me. I'm like, "I'm fine." Yeah,
Harry Tornado throws trash on the ground.
Utah, littering Utah. Did you see in the chat when in the video when I was like, so Tim, after you take the print heads out of the printers, you just like throw them on the ground and litter, right? He's like, yeah, we're just gonna leave it in the parking lot and run it over. And some lady in the chat like freaked out, like, I cannot believe you guys are admitting to this. This is terrible. Like that's awful. You're just littering, and I'm extremely disappointed in you. And everybody was like, lady, it was obviously a joke. We're not like, so it just goes.
You gotta
over
be careful. Like people take so much like out of context. Like everything you do will be dissected.
Yeah.
Especially like, obviously I can't imagine like with as many subscribers as you have, but they like nitpick, and it's like they're looking for something like
100%.
And they're mean. People are like, I had a comment today saying you fake B, and I'm like, okay, have a nice day, block user from channel. Like I used to respond, and now I'm like, I say whatever you want, but you're never going to say anything again that'll be seen on my channel. So bye.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I know I've mentioned them multiple times, but Dean is my favorite because he responds to every hate comment, and people will say stuff like, why is Dean so ugly? And then he'll respond like with the most savage
genetics
comment.
And poor diet.
Yeah, exactly.
That's literally what he said.
Genetics and poor diet. He comes up with the funniest stuff. And one time he said something like, if you're so dissatisfied with your own life, I can come dig your grave for you, or something like that. Like someone was saying you don't deserve what you have. I hope you die early. I don't know, some really mean comment. And he's like, well, if you want, I can come dig your grave first. And it was just like, dude, the savageness from him is just.
I just can't do it. Like it stresses me out. I'm a softie. I just have to block them and like move on. Streaming sister, like what do you guys say? If somebody can only list on Saturday and Sunday, should they save the drafts and release them every day so they have more activity to their account, or should they just put them all in at once?
I just think that you should just list them. I'm a big proponent of just listing stuff. Like people say, do you wait till winter to list sweatshirts? I'm like, no, I list them every day because I sell them every day. It's 102 degrees in Florida right now, and I'm selling, winter coats to somebody in, I don't know, up north, up in Canada or something.
Well, if you sell international too, like the weather's always different there, and like your Christmas and Halloween collectors and Easter, all the holidays, people collect that stuff year round. They have searches set. If you have like a collectible item that people are looking for, it does. Like, I sell Christmas stuff in January, and Christmas, just ended. Like, I don't hold back anything. Now, you could price high and wait for it to sell until it gets closer to the season and let yours sit there if you wanted.
Yeah, I think, with stuff like that, you're going to list it anyway eventually. Just list it now. And then if it sells now, great. If it sells in the winter, great. You can always delist and sell similar and just refresh it later on. It's better.
Do you think if they can only list 2 days, should they release them during the week? Like, I've said that because I feel like it makes, daily activity on eBay, but
if you're only part-time and you have, like, I would say less than 200 active listings, I really don't think it's going to affect your eBay algorithm. If you have 1,500 active listings and you're like, yeah, I'm part-time, whatever, then maybe maybe schedule it out. But if you're only at 50, 100, 150 active listings and you've got 10 items that you want to list throughout the week, no, just make them all active on Sunday.
Yeah,
that's my opinion. But
I said something one time about like saving your items as drafts, because scheduling them, when I try to schedule my items, it costs me 10 cents per item.
Yeah,
and
sometimes I do it,
and somebody commented and they're like, no, it doesn't charge you. You're not doing it right. And I'm like, I guess I'm not doing it right, because I haven't found a way around that. Because I like to have my items go out. If I have time to list 40 things one day and then the next day I have a big YouTube video or something, then I'll schedule those out. But I haven't found a way to avoid not paying the 10 cents per item.
Real quick, I just didn't want to miss this comment. Marsha, this and that said, I'm listing on Mercari and they're asking for a model. Just type in other. Type in the word other, and that'll pop up and you use that.
And that comment up on the screen is why Julian is my co-host, just so everybody knows.
I love it.
We have a lot of the same business model and purpose. Like, I can't. I'm not a spreadsheet person. And I'm nothing against the spreadsheet people, but for me, I'm like, I could be spending my time listing that many more items, or like doing whatever. I'm hoping that, like, once I get through the death pile, that's probably never going to happen. I don't even know why that came out of my mouth. But once I get through some of it, I'm hoping that my niece can do a lot more listing and I could source. Like, if I train her properly and teach her about the type of items that I'm sourcing, that she could list, I could source, and then mom could cross post. And and Brad ships. And Dalton does whatever he wants.
You know how it is.
Yeah. Dalton is the boss. I am trying to see.
There's
go ahead.
apps that you can use too. Like, for people who want to keep track of their mileage, but are too lazy.
I use Mile IQ.
Yeah, exactly. Mile IQ literally recognizes when you're in your car, and when you stop, and tells you how many miles it is. And then it's like, you just got to swipe left or swipe right and let you know if it's a business.
If it's personal or business. Yeah.
You can have spending apps too that will monitor your spending, and then it gives you a little pie chart every day and says okay, you spent 10% of your balance on groceries, you spent 5% at retail stores, blah blah blah, and you can use that too. Jakob said he uses mint.com. They have an app as well. So
I used Mint before I got GoDaddy Bookkeeping, and the key with Mint is that you need to have an account and debit card that's only for reselling. Like, all of your eBay, Amazon, all of your money comes onto that card, and all of your expenses come out of that card. And then if you link it to, my light just died. If you link it to Mint will keep track of all of your, sourcing and all of your income, and give you a nice pie chart breakdown, and it's free. GoDaddy Bookkeeping is not free. It's $10 a month, but it gives you a much more detailed breakdown with tax reports and everything like that.
I see the comment on YouTube, but I don't see it on StreamYard to highlight it. But my husband is in there saying he's going to train Dalton to ship.
Get him, Brad. Get him.
He can carry the bubble wrap. Listen, Dalton carries bubble wrap, and I think he used to carry peanuts when we used peanuts, and he'd feel so big because they're so much bigger than him, but they're really, really light. How do you decide the keywords and the listing title besides the actual description?
I guess it depends on what you're selling. If you're selling a vintage 1992 Jurassic Park all over print t-shirt, that should be your title. Vintage 1992.
There's not words that you can add to it that will just make it a more appealing item. Just have a descriptive title and a good picture, and that's really all you need.
Dinosaur.
Yeah, I with like the breakables use whatever they could use it. Like some people might use it for like a sugar jar or a jelly jar. So I think if you're listing stuff that can be used as multiple items, put that, and it's individual to the item. I also like to, I always sell similar, and when I when I go to list my item, I'm going to filter it by highest sold, and I'm going to look at their keywords, and I'm going to copy the highest sold listing. And if those keywords apply to my listing, I'm going to leave them there because I think there's probably a reason their item sold high.
Yeah. But it's not like I've seen some people try to do, I've seen it on eBay and Facebook Marketplace. They'll put like look, like L at K, or like eye emojis, or I've seen people on eBay use emojis, and that's just dumb. That doesn't do anything.
It's wasting space.
And it makes you look like an amateur seller.
Yeah.
A lot of people are asking Joey to say something. So Joey,
hey guys,
what do you want
Joey,
to talk about?
Here you go.
We need to ask Joey a specific question.
Well, someone did ask a question that I think would be good for Joey. They said, what would your best advice be to grow a reselling YouTube channel? And since I think Joey has the newest reselling channel out of all of us, like, you can answer the question.
We talked about this kind of, I think on the podcast, just trying to balance, life and, having a family and having, fun time and doing eBay and doing YouTube. It's very, very difficult, but you got to find that path. You got to find that extra time. Hey, I'm going to take an hour to make a video. And then tomorrow I'm going to say, hey, I got to take an hour and just edit my YouTube video. And I've been very slackadaisical lately, so I got to get back into it.
What kind of word is that, Joey? Say it again.
Slackadaisical. I just made it up. No, I just like to make people laugh, but yeah, I mean, it's hard to balance, but try to balance it and just do your thing.
My advice for YouTube, because I don't make a lot of money on it, we talk about that in the podcast all the time, is don't chase money on YouTube. Like,
yeah.
If you're just wanting to make a reselling YouTube channel because you see one or two people making money or getting sponsors or getting super chats in a live or something like that, it's not the right mindset. It's not worth the time. Like, if I have like 8,000 subscribers, and if I were to say how much time I've put into making YouTube videos, if I would have spent that time listing instead, I would have made a lot more money, but I make YouTube videos because I like to document my journey of what I'm doing. And I like to be part of the community of what is the reselling community. That's why I like it, but there's exactly what Troy said. If you do it for the money, it's going to initiate burnout. And that's just the truest statement about it is, there are very few people that are making more money on YouTube than they are actual reselling, that are making YouTube videos consistently. So.
Yeah, I was doing daily videos when I first started, and I noticed a significant decrease in my sales, and so I dropped down to 3 videos a week, which has helped me. Like, you have to find a balance, because a lot of times, especially in the beginning, you're getting paid nothing on YouTube. So you are, like Drew's saying, you're taking that time away that you could be listing or you could be sourcing, and it's like imagine all your reselling stuff you ask what to do, and then add in YouTube into that equation. And if you have a full-time job, it's a lot of stuff. And I think a lot of people don't realize, like, YouTube takes a ton, like, it takes a lot of time, and it's not just making and editing videos, like, it's responding to comments, and we get messages on Instagram, and it's just it's a lot of time. And so if you're messaging people and they aren't answering, like, I know why, because it's a lot.
Yeah.
You have to follow what you're passionate about too. Like, I'm more passionate about reselling and providing for my family through that than editing YouTube videos. Like, I don't enjoy sitting down at my computer for 4 hours and adding background music and putting in cuts. And, like Tesla Picker's got like the straight up, and like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
Dave's got all the sound effects.
I don't have the patience to sit down and edit and then be like, oh yeah, at 23 seconds, I'm going to put in a straight up. And then at 46 seconds, I'm going to put in a, oh man, and like, I don't have the patience for that. So my videos are literally like just me doing what I'm doing. And I pop up screenshots of sales, or comps. That's my best version of me editing. So,
that's the same here. I'm not an editor. I just like,
and Josh is, Josh is so good at it that, why not spend more time doing that?
I do enjoy the editing process. I used to edit all my videos on my phone, which it was fun, but it got not fun after like 150 videos. And I finally made the switch to editing on my computer, and it's way easier on the computer. My last video, when I had to pull up all the sold comps for every game on the screen, and I was literally like watching the video, I'd see the title, I go to eBay, look up comps, screen grab that one, save it, go back to the editing software, import media, select that file, drag it to the timeline. I mean, it took me probably like an hour just to do the screen grabs, but it made it. Like, going through, if I didn't put the sold comps on the screen, people would just be like, well, what's that game worth? Like, I don't know. So it was worth it. But I mean, I think doing daily, I've tried daily content for like a month last year, and it's terrible. I would never recommend it. That whether you're starting, whether you're experienced, whatever, like daily content is tough. Casey Neistat did it for like 2 years. And yeah, it helped him like grow his channel into like, becoming basically everyone's favorite vlogger, but it almost cost him his marriage. It cost him a bunch of relationships. It cost him his mental health. It cost him his physical health to some degree. I mean, he would, get to, be done at like 1 a.m. and wake up at like 4 or 5 a.m. just because he was having to film and edit vlogs, like 11 to 15 minute vlogs every single day. And it was technical editing, so that's why he's kind of cut it back now. But
yeah,
I
know Jocelyn does daily, but she'll go out and record like 3 in a day. So she's not, like recording daily. She like batch records like 2 or 3 in a day. Yeah, Kevin's saying 800 and 750 days. And like Jocelyn is like, sometimes there are 2 videos a day, plus she does live. So but she's been doing it for a long time and it works for her, but that's a lot. And I did that and I couldn't maintain it. Yeah. I don't know how she does it either. I really don't.
I would personally rather have like one really, really good video a month rather than 30 crappy videos a month. Like if you look at a YouTuber, Mark Rober, he's got, I don't know, like millions of subscribers. He uploads 1 video per month, 12 videos a year. And they're all so incredibly well done that people love it. And they look forward to his video next month. So, I mean, daily content's tough. I could probably do it if I really tried it and it would be profitable. Somebody asked earlier if anybody on the panel makes more with YouTube than reselling. I do. I make a lot more with YouTube than I do reselling. And not that I think I make decent money with reselling, probably like between $2,500 and $3,000 a month in profit with reselling on average. And YouTube is significantly more than that, but it's work. I do 3 videos a week. I'm trying to stick to a schedule of Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday right now. And even that is like 35, 40 hours a week just with those 3 videos.
Real quick, Mercari versus eBay. I think eBay reaches a bigger audience. If I had to choose one, would choose eBay. I made 100,000 last year on eBay and I sold 10,000 on Mercari. So 10% and I was listing the same amount of items, but there's a younger demographic. And I think it depends on what you're selling too, because certain items will sell faster and better on Mercari. So for me and what I'm selling, I say eBay.
Yeah, I say eBay all the way. And Facebook has been doing pretty good too. I mean, Facebook, there's so many users on Facebook looking on, the marketplace. It's insane on there, but eBay is definitely the best platform.
I think Mercari is easier to list on, but eBay is going to have the biggest reach.
Yeah.
Again, I keep saying these kinds of answers, but it depends on what you're selling.
No,
You know?
it's all that, and that's the hard thing with a lot of this, because it depends on like your business model, it depends on what you're buying, what you're selling. It's hard to like give a generalized answer.
I think to all these questions, like about making YouTube videos or where to cross list, it's like, do what makes you happy. Ultimately, like if you want to avoid burnout, whatever makes you happy. If you only like selling on eBay, then just sell on eBay, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you like making and editing YouTube videos, then make YouTube videos every day. You know, do what makes you happy. Like if Kevin likes making videos every single day, that's amazing that Kevin
do it.
can do that.
Right.
I could never do that. I would be miserable, and then I'm living a double life, like pretending to be happy on camera to please people
because you don't want to do it though.
Yeah,
right.
So you know, I make YouTube videos when I want to. At this point, like I try to at least do one a week, but usually it's 1 or 2 a week, and most of the time it's like I just do what makes me happy. If I feel like recording a video, recording a what sold video over the weekend, then I'm going to do it. If I'm not feeling like it, I don't want to be fake on a YouTube video just to try to get views. It's not like I'm getting, 50,000 views a video where I, even if I was, I still don't think I would fake it just for the views. Like, cause I'm not happy.
I didn't record today, and I have some good stuff go out, but I'm not feeling good. I hear my voice going and going and going the longer we're talking. But I wasn't feeling good, and it's hard sometimes though, because I want to do it, but I'm like, no, like you're saying, I would have to be like, hey, when I feel like crap right now. My live show is a little different because that is my habit, and I think I've built it up by being here every Tuesday, so that's a little bit different for me than a recorded video. And I figured you guys could talk if I couldn't talk. But,
I think.
Oh, go ahead.
Cheryl said, "If I did what makes me happy for money, it would be illegal." So we won't dive into what that is. But...
We won't discuss that. Cheryl also wants to know, how does YouTube play a role in your business model? I'll tell you, and it's funny because I know Kevin, I know Josh, probably I don't know about Drew as much, or Joey, but a lot of the guys get tons of viewer sales. I do not get that. I don't get it. I might get 1 or 2 a month. So for me, and I don't know why. I don't know why, but I just don't. And I was doing wholesale lots for a while, and I just haven't had time because I'm not going to go just buy anything. I would want good stuff that people could make money on. So I haven't started doing it because I don't have the time. It's just you can't do everything with limited time.
Yeah. I sell more on Instagram than I do on YouTube. I really don't sell anything on YouTube. I can't even remember the last time a YouTuber messaged me on an eBay item and was like, "Hey, I love your channel." But I post when I'm at the thrift store or I'm at the flea market, I'll post pictures of things I'm finding, and then people DM me and they're like, size, price, how much are you asking? And I make more money on Instagram than I do on YouTube. But I don't make a lot of money on YouTube. I think last month I made $78. So, but I love the Instagram community, the reselling community on Instagram. I love that more than YouTube because it doesn't require a lot of effort for me outside of my reselling business. Saying building YouTube into your business model, I build Instagram into my business model because I've built a following of people who trust me, who see things that I'm picking up and they learn from it, or, they know that I have an eye for certain products, or I teach them. I had one guy on Instagram DM me the other day. He's like, "Dude, thank you so much for what you put out. I just found a Rock Band set at the bins and I sold it for $250 next day. I would have never picked that up if it wasn't for you, Yeah. And that means the world to me when someone says that they made money from something that they learned from me. And so I love the Instagram community. And I'm so close to 10K. I'm at 9,000. I'm at 9,800 followers on Instagram. And then I have the swipe up feature for my YouTube videos. So that's what I'm shooting for.
And I do ship on Facebook Marketplace. I learned it from Josh. Josh is the one that kind of promoted that on his YouTube videos. And I've sold a bunch of things. I've sold 2 of those caddies that I told Josh one day. I was like, Josh, I found 2 golf caddies. How do you feel about it? He's like, I don't know if you're gonna sell it for, because I was like, I could probably sell it for $150. He's like, I don't know about that, Joey. And I sold them both for like $75 a piece. So it was cool.
It's awesome.
We're all like so tired. I'm like,
I haven't been up this long in years.
I do not. They're saying I need a matching chair. I'm maybe one day.
So Josh, the story on that, Josh, he's always had that chair, and Josh was doing a live.
He was born with it.
He was just born with it. It was like New Year's Eve, and he was like going out in the year off with like a bang or something like that. And I did the whole live with him. What was it, like all day long?
6 hours.
Yeah, it was 6 hours. And he was like, Joey, I'm gonna get you a chair. I'm like, what? Like I have this like $10 chair I bought from Goodwill that's like, just a swivel chair. He buys it for me, and I made a YouTube video on it. It was awesome. And then I just bought Drew the chair that he has. We all have the same chair now, so I just bought him that chair. So
now I guess I gotta buy a chair for somebody, huh?
You gotta buy it for Cat, and then Cat
and then we'll match. We'll have
in the next year. Every reseller on YouTube is gonna have the same chair.
We'll like just keep passing it on.
Just keep passing it on.
I actually can't find a comfortable spot in it.
The trick is to go.
I think I would go to sleep if I like lounged back like that right now. I'd be like snoring on this video. Yeah, pay it forward chairs. That's like the new thing.
It's the
I was using this free office chair, like little tiny thing that I've picked up on the side of the road from.
Mine was like $5 at the auction.
Yeah.
Like it's all falling apart. I don't know if you can see it. It's like raggedy, but it's comfortable. So whatever.
Mine was so uncomfortable, but I have lower back issues, so
it's hard to like. It's really hard. They're saying Dalton would have. See, Dalton likes to climb in the chairs. Does that chair have arms? I can't see the arms. Well, he has to have, so it would work. He has to climb over something and wedge himself between you and the arm of the chair. It's like, yeah. It's hard though as a reseller to like, for me anyways, I don't know about for you guys, like it's so hard for me to pay full price. Like if it was me and I wanted that chair, I would go look like for Amazon warehouse deals. I would find one, somebody like sent back or the box got damaged at the warehouse and I would get a deal on it somehow. Like I have to. Do you do that with everything, like stuff you buy?
I don't remember the last time I paid full retail for something. Probably like my YouTube stuff, like my cameras and like my microphone and stuff. Well, microphone I got from Facebook Marketplace is like $150 microphone. I paid $60 for that. But my camera I bought, it's kind of hard to find used cameras.
Listen, I got to tell you my camera story. So my camera is the Sony ZV-1 because I want to get the one Jocelyn had. So I looked on Best Buy, and the Best Buy, like 30 minutes away from my work, had one open box. And of course, $150 off. I'm like, okay, I'm going to get an open box. So I go to pick it up like curbside. And I asked the guy, I'm like, is the warranty the same on open box as it is if I just buy it? And he's like, actually, it looks like they couldn't find the open box. You got a new one. I'm like, what? $150 off. Camera was brand new, sealed in the box because they couldn't find it. Yeah. So I was very happy with that. Here's some more questions.
Shout out Conru.
Conru's awesome. I actually just signed an IKEA bucket hat, and I just sent it out to her, and she sends me back like a voice message, and she's like, oh my gosh, Joey Pepperoni, you're the best. Like she's just awesome.
Her ears were burning. Hello, Miss Jocelyn. Jocelyn will be on with me next week. It is Misty's birthday, and me and Dale Flippin' Fiasco mailed her. Dale really did it, but it was our idea. Like 3 foot by 3 foot box that says do not open until 6/1 at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you guys have got to come next week and watch Misty open the box because it's her birthday. And we spent a lot of money on shipping to surprise Misty. I don't. She hasn't even messaged Dale. Is the funny thing. Like, you get this giant, like, almost 4-foot box. You would think you'd send something, but Misty hasn't asked us, like, hey, what's in the box? She just has the box. So hopefully she's following instructions and not opening.
You know, you could have just put that in a trash bag and sent it pirate ship box and bag for like $9.
A trash bag.
I'm kidding.
Don't do that.
Not
No.
how pirate ship box and bag works.
Have you noticed that pirate ship, like the cubic rates have went up? Have you noticed that?
I haven't noticed.
They like, because I have my journals that I sell, and they're like all 8x6x4, and the rates used to be like 7 and 9, and now they're like 8 to 11. So there was like a little hike. But anyways, hey Shad Juice, what is she talking about? They flew Brandon in from Idaho. Oh, they were out to dinner. Hello. She's flying.
Kayla said, if people don't stop telling me to do this, I swear, box and bag. Box and bag, I think, is, for me, it makes me angrier than almost anything else resellers do that think that it's okay. Like, it is just, I had one guy on Instagram, I made a post about it a while back when Josh and I were talking about it, and I made a story post, and I was like, if you do box and bag, then you might as well just steal your items from Goodwill, because you're stealing from pirate ship and you're running your business illegally. And someone was like, well, who are you to judge me on how I run my business? I'm like, I mean, I'm not telling you how to run your business. I'm just telling you you're running it illegally.
This guy, so I did a live stream before where I was passionate. I was like, if anybody can actually show me a situation where a box and bag actually saves money, doing it the correct way, I'll pay you $100. And this guy said in the chat, he's like, oh, these dimensions work. I'm like, send me a video of you using a poly bag in a box with those dimensions and getting a better rate, and I'll give you $100. And he did. He sent me a video. And he was like, he's like a math teacher or something, has a YouTube channel about math. And I'm going to give him a shout out in my next video. But he was like, yeah, I mean, it usually doesn't. Like, I just like happened to try it one day and it saved like $2 with this dimension. I mean, it's like the perfect size box, the perfect size poly bag. And he's like, I haven't found any others that work, just this one. But I figured I'd show you. I'm like, all right, man, what's your PayPal? And he wouldn't take it. He wouldn't take the money. He's like, just give me a shout out eventually or something. So
yeah,
I'm gonna give him a shout out. His name's Walter. I'm gonna give him a shout out in the next. He's got a YouTube channel about like math stuff, like to help kids like learn math. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll give you a shout out, man.
Yeah, that's funny. I do use trash bags, but I use them because they're like the industrial ones, and I do them as like 18 by 18 poly when I like cut it in half for like my mattress protectors. But there's not a box inside of it. It's like a mattress pad stuffed, and then I squeeze all the air out of it. But other than I don't like jumping to pirate ship. I know a lot of people ship on pirate ship mainly, but for me, I'd rather just stay in eBay, put my dimension. Unless I see it's like a small heavy box that's costing me like $20 or something. Yeah. Like, I'm not going to go to pirate ship just because of like ease of use. You know, who are you waving at?
Ed, the reselling writer, said, my daughter is waving hi to all of you and laughing while I'm typing this. So I was waving back. Oh,
I see it here. Hi. Hello. Josh,
sorry, I was late.
Pirate ship, when you have an eBay store and you already get discounted shipping rates on eBay, pirate ship is very, very seldomly cheaper. But what I use pirate ship for is like if I make Instagram sales, you know, instead of going to the post office, you go on pirate ship and it's good rates, you know. But pirate ship,
I use it for my big cartel stuff, like my journals, just because I can paste the address. You know, it's really easy to like ship that way. But other than that, like my eBay stuff, I just don't. I use it for the direct sales, and that's pretty much, like I said, and it's rare I have something that's small and heavy. It's very rare that pirate ship is going to be that much of a
okay. I feel like I need to explain it a little bit further. Reggie Loman says, I'm new to pirate ship, but I do box and bag. I just wrap the box with a poly bag. Is that wrong? And then Cheryl says, I think box and bag is the same as shipping a heavy mug in a flat rate padded envelopes. Why not? So the whole idea of pirate ship is if you have a box that can fit in a poly bag, then you can try that. But for some reason, there's this idea out there that if you like take a box and wrap it in plastic or wrap it in a poly bag or something, then you just measure the length and width of the box and take the height completely out of the equation. You just use those two dimensions. That's how people on Instagram are saying, oh, I shipped this VCR to Hawaii for $9. It's because they're not accounting for the whole extra third dimension of the package. If you do that, if you want to use the box and bag, you have to measure the poly bag when it's flat. So if you have a 9x13 poly bag and you want to put a box in that, the dimensions that you have to use are 9x13. Right. So obviously the only box you could fit in there is probably like a 3x4x2 or something small like that.
I can barely fit the 4x4 boxes into like the padded flat rates.
Yeah. Pirate ship is based on volume. And other than that one situation where that guy sent me, generally it would seem to be physically impossible, because usually the only way that would work is if the poly bag had a smaller total volume capacity than the box. And so you'd have to figure out a way to fit a box with a X volume capacity in a bag that has a value less than X of volume capacity, which isn't physically possible, except for that one situation.
Except for the one. Casey, myself, and Joey, who is below me, are going to the Cincinnati Reseller Rally. I know Kayla is in here. You guys can tell her in the chat who all is coming. I think there are still tickets left. There were originally 200. It did originally sell out, and then COVID happened and people canceled. So I don't know where they're at. I think there are still, last time I looked, there were some still. Oh my gosh, I'm tired. I can't even talk. There were still some tickets available. And yeah, Steve is saying that's why I cut my trash bags flat to 18x18 to fit my my mattress toppers. I'm like, I have to fit it in this, because 18x18 is the largest dimensions that you can use for a poly bag on pirate ship.
Yeah,
Wild Gnome says pirate ship is great for Mercari. I wholeheartedly agree with that. I've been selling on Mercari, and for some reason, they don't allow you to print 4x6 labels. I haven't figured it out.
Oh my gosh, no, you have to screen grab it. It's a pain in the butt.
It's everywhere a pain. So I do all my own shipping on Mercari now. I just take their address and pirate ship it.
Yeah. One thing to clarify about the box and bag thing is, like, kind of what Josh was saying, is that people think that when you just put a box inside any type of bag, it magically makes it cheaper. And that's the thing that is like, no, you got to understand why it's cheaper. There's a reason. You can't just take an item that would normally cost $31 to ship and it's now $9 just because you wrapped it in a poly bag. Like, it's not that it makes it easier for the post office to ship because it's in a poly bag instead of a box, so. And
even in that situation that did work, the difference was literally like $11 to $13. Like, it was like a $2 difference. So right. It's never going to be worth your time wasting a poly bag, because
if it's in a box and small and heavy, I'll tell you, because like my 8x6x4 boxes, they might be $20 if they're 3 pounds going to California from Florida, but they will only be like $12 on pirate ship. But that's in a box. Like, it's going to be cheaper in the box or in a bag, because it's going by that cubic rate. And versus, mainly the weight on.
I've literally seen people that have like an 18x18x18 box just wrapped in a trash bag, and they're like, $9. Maximum dimensions of 18. I'm like, no.
They have started charging, because I was off on the weight on, I think, one of them. And I guess it was cheaper weight-wise than cubic on one of my, and pirate ship charged after the fact. So if you guys are doing that, pirate ship has started to charge.
What if they
they'll charge your card?
I mean, I've had people that are like, well, I've been doing it for 2 years and I've never been caught. I'm like,
what
if
one
day you get a charge of like $3,000 for like 2 years worth of baggages that you've been stealing?
Yeah. They're starting to charge, like eBay does it. Mercari has started to do it. I don't know about Poshmark, but I know Mercari, because here's one of the downfalls of my mom listing. She'll think something that weighs 5 pounds weighs 3. And then like Mercari, you can't change the weight. Like on Poshmark, you can buy a more expensive label, but on Mercari, you can't. So I'm like, crap, it's already sold. and then Mercari will charge me whatever the difference is from that 3 pound to 5 pound, and I have to pay it.
Just real quick, there's probably like 400 people in the chat. Smack that like button for Kat right now. There's a lot of people in here. Smack that button for her. Hit that like button for the YouTube algorithm.
No, Cheryl, you can ship a box in a padded flat rate envelope if it fits, because a padded flat rate envelope is a one flat rate price no matter what it is. As long as it fits in the padded flat rate envelope, you can ship it. So if you can fit a mug in a padded flat rate in a box, there's nothing wrong with that. But the selection for box in bag on Pirate Ship, you can't just take a printer this big and wrap it in a bag and select box and bag. It's based on cubic measurements. Padded flat rate envelopes are based on the what can fit inside of that envelope. So you can ship a mug. You can ship a 50-pound dumbbell in a padded flat rate envelope if it'll fit.
It won't.
But it won't fit. It won't fit. You know, but as long as it fits in the padded flat rate envelope, that's totally okay.
Yeah.
What's the heaviest thing you guys have fit in a padded flat rate envelope, or even in a regular flat rate envelope?
I shipped 2 25-pound dumbbells in a medium flat rate box.
Yeah, I did.
I've done that too. Actually.
Yeah, I've done that. I was trying to think about the envelopes. I actually saw this girl on Instagram. She was shipping something in a regular flat rate envelope, not the padded, and the post office, like, it fit in there fine. It was just like big, and the post office like sent it back to her, like return to sender, because they said it was like not flat rate or something. She's like, "What are you talking about? It's flat rate. It's sealed." Because the rule is anything that fits in there, as long as it closes, even if it's big and bulky like a cylinder, as long as
it naturally closes, you're not like
if it fits. If she went and talked to chips.
Yeah, sorry. Joey's a mailman. He knows. But apparently she went and talked to the postmaster, and they were like, well, it's kind of a great, because she had used like tape to like
hold it down or whatever.
Hold it down because it was kind of heavy. And they're like, oh, if you use tape, then sometimes they don't take it. I'm like, the limit on these envelopes is 70 pounds.
Yeah.
Right? So like, I'm not going to ship something 70 pounds in that envelope and not put tape over it.
Exactly.
And just trust that little slip of Elmer's glue to hold it shut.
Yeah.
Like, that's ridiculous.
Gorilla glue.
Add some glue to it. Tell me if you've seen this, Joey. So I got a pair of shoes today. I bought a pair of shoes. It was a Priority Mail 16-inch by 23-inch padded envelope. I've never seen one in my life. And I Googled trying to find it. I'm like, where did the shoe company get these giant
and it
padded
said priority and it said take a picture and send it to me.
I will. I think it's still in the house. 16 inches by 23. It was from 2015. But like, wow. I've been using like the free priority supplies for a long time, and I've never seen.
No, I've never seen
giant
that either.
Polly. I'm like, where did they get it? And I cannot find. I did find on the same thing of our lovely free supplies. I did find somebody on Mercari selling padded flat rate envelopes. What
are you serious?
Yeah, I am 110% serious.
Someone on Instagram tagged me the other day that their Goodwill was selling large flat rate game boxes for $2.99.
I saw that too. I've seen that.
I've seen that multiple times in my Goodwills.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
Let me give Melanie a dolphin, and then I will read that.
Super chat.
Oh, but Melanie said she lost her job today. I'm sorry to hear that. And like, we were kind of talking about this before the show. I would be torn if that happened to me, between being like, oh crap, and being like, yeah, like, let's go.
I'd be like, let's go, baby.
That might be a blessing in disguise, Melanie, and I hope it is. I really do. She said she knows she's going to be fine. And I think, awesome. And like, that's the thing for me is like, the way that I am is that, like, if I need to do it, I'm going to do it. If that means I have to list more or I have to go out and source and find better stuff, like if I need to pay my bills to keep my family okay, I'm going to do whatever it takes, whether it's reselling or, you know, at work. Luckily, and somebody asked earlier, like, how reselling has changed your life. I haven't had to work overtime in over 2 years. And prior to that, for 8 years, I worked 48 hours a week. And I have been able to go down to just the 3 days, 36 hours a week because of reselling. And overtime for a nurse is a lot of money, a lot.
Yeah.
Like that's a significant amount that I had to pick up. So for me, it has done that. So Melanie, I hope you do well with that. And my husband is, he asked the postmaster, because we're like, where do we get these polys? The postmaster had never seen these polys before either.
Losing my job was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Yeah, I was literally going to say that.
Getting fired was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Yeah, I'll be there soon, guys.
And I mean, I think if you're determined, and that's the thing, like I get asked all the time if people should go full time. And I think you have to be self-motivated to do this. Like what I'm doing part-time, 90% of people aren't going to do part-time, but I'm like, go, 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 go. I'm pushing at it. And if you're full-time and you're not self-motivated, like you have to make yourself do those listings. You have to make yourself, source and photograph and do all this stuff. And if you're not self-motivated, like there's not a boss there making you,
you've got to be a slob. SLOB.
Yes. Yakov is saying yes. And especially like right now, they're offering us $20 extra an hour for overtime for the last 6 months. And I've not worked one shift, and that's time and a half plus $20, and it's just not enough. And sometimes it's not. Your mental health is worth more than money. And, in my opinion,
everybody go unsubscribe from Tim Osborne to Thrift. He's just a big cornball.
Dude, so when we were in Utah, and I was excited for the video. I was like, I don't know how well it's going to do. You might get, 500, maybe 1,000 subscribers. But obviously I think the video's at like 35 or 36,000 views so far, and everybody's like loving it. Everybody's subscribing. I'm like pumped with him. I texted him like right as he hit 5K. I was like, dude, 5,000 subscribers. He's like, let's go. He's like, just looking at his YouTube. So it's awesome. Like I'm super happy that I was able to meet him and thrift with him and find a bunch of profitable items, but also the fact that my viewers are going to check out his channel. So if he hits 6K, that'd be awesome. Cause he was at, I think 2,200 subscribers before the video.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it was a huge boost for him.
Yeah, see, like Michelle's saying, like she doesn't want the disability, and that's the thing. A lot of people with the disability are worried they can't hit a certain amount, so it kind of. I wouldn't want to be slowed down like that either. I wouldn't want a restriction. When I go, I want to go.
Yeah, for Tim, people, I think Tim was saying something in the chat about most of it came from Josh, but he's happy with the growth. It's like, man, take it and run with it. It's just exactly what Kayla said. People are finding you now, and they're realizing you were just an underrated content creator that, needed. I think that happened to Kayla too, right? I mean, didn't Matt shout her out or something like that one time?
Yeah,
or I don't know,
Matt shouted Kayla out. Matt shouted me out. Matt gave Kayla and I both our initial pretty big boost. Matt has done it for me a couple of times. So Kayla and I have kind of bonded. Speaking of Matt, I don't know where my hat is. Matt said he was sending it. But Kayla and I have kind of bonded over that because Matt helped Kayla and I both. And Josh helped me a lot in the beginning. I think I only had a few hundred subs when Josh and I talked on the phone about it. And it's just, you've got to the thing is, Tim, is Josh might help you get those subs, but you're the one keeping them.
Yeah. People ask for shout outs. I mean, people literally just DM me on Instagram. They're not even following me. They just DM me and ask for shout outs. I'm like, no.
But it doesn't matter, and it's all in it's all in the context. People know what you're saying. Thank you, Dom.
I think
all a shout out does is provide a momentary increase in attention. And if there's nothing there for people to enjoy, then it's over. I mean, I've given channel shout outs that maybe they got 100 new subscribers and then it was nothing, but Tim, he was like the Dogecoin of January, man. I knew just a little boost of attention, he'd take off, and it worked.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta keep them. I've seen people get them and go up really high. And then I look the next month and they're negative subscribers, because they didn't provide good content for those people that were brought to them Like you got to step up, step up your game. If you're getting that traffic, that's the time to like step it up.
Primetime Treasure Hunter was one of the first people that really helped me out because I was part of his reselling. I still am the Reselling Resource Center Facebook group. And I think at the time I was at like 700 or 800 subscribers. And he actually, like, I didn't ask him for it, but he did one of those like group challenge things, like let's help Drew get to 1,000 subscribers. And like a lot of the people from the group have stayed like in my comment section and stuff. It's not just random people who are like, you know, subscribed and then never watched again. Right. You know, so I'm thankful for that because that's the most valuable thing is people who are actually still watching your content. There's no point to have someone say like, oh, go subscribe to Drew. And then like they click the sub button and they never watch your videos. Like I'd rather you just not subscribe because I don't want false numbers, if that makes sense. Like, you know,
I think Dom put the challenge up for me for like my 5K, I want to say, in the group as well. So Dom definitely. And that's the thing, like if we're watching, it's going to mean a lot more like if Josh met Tim, like Josh is there thrifting with him versus if Tim tells him just to be like, hey, give me a shout out. Like people can tell if you're being genuine and if you mean what you're saying. You know, or if you're just like, hey, this person bought this from me, so check them out. Guess what? They're not
that's the worst kind of shout out. Like I do it because like I'm thankful for you, viewer sales. But it doesn't help much. It doesn't help. It really doesn't.
I
had a lady bought something for me in my last video, the Southern Mama or something. And I was like, thanks for the, check out our channel. I didn't link it because I couldn't find it, but I seriously doubt that gave her any new subscribers just because that's not the type of shout out that tends to be fruitful,
Yeah,
the whole Tim video, I was just like constantly Tim's got like carts full of money, and I'm just like, I found this battery that sells for $7.99. Like,
well, the funny thing about
showcasing his talents,
the funny thing about that video with you and Tim was like everybody knows that you hate bulky big stuff, and everything Tim found was massive. Like Tim's loading vacuums like this big into this SUV, and you're like, Tim, no.
That's like me. If it has a profit, I will figure out how to ship whatever it is. I shipped a like 4-foot trunk last week on Mercari. They paid $185 for the shipping.
Wow.
2 boxes. I had 2 big old Amazon subscribe and save boxes, and I just put them over it. It was really easy. Arrived good. Trendy Vintage Classic says I was laid off from the social work field right before COVID. Just bought a house. Now I sell full time and started YouTube. It is fun. It's a lot of work, but it is fun for sure. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. And hopefully it's going well. I think like reselling is all about what you put into it. Like you're going to get out of it what you put into it. Like Josh was saying, like, why isn't stuff selling when they listed 9 items? Like reselling is a lot of work. It might be fun if you really like it. I love doing it. It's like a treasure hunt for me, but it's a lot of work. And I don't think a lot of people realize how hard it is.
Yeah, shout out Paul Philly Flipper. I mean, he's a real one. This shirt right here, right over my head. This was like this is like a Grail t-shirt for me, this Tower of Terror shirt, and he drove an hour out of his way to go get it for me on Facebook Marketplace and then shipped it to me. And I paid him for his gas and tolls, but he really wouldn't let me pay him any more than what the cost of the shirt was. So I really appreciate that, Paul.
Yeah,
it's staying in my collection for sure.
Paul is
Kayla
awesome.
just said something that is so incredibly true. She says, if you have to ask for a shout out, you are doing it wrong. That is so true. She's never asked me for a shout out, but I've talked about Kayla's channel at least 3 times in videos and live streams. Same thing with Flip and Fiasco. Dale, I love her. Love her channel. Love her personality.
I'm so happy with her name change. Yeah, Dale will be my co-host next week. We're so excited about that.
But those are both people that I enjoy. I enjoy their content, and I've given them shout outs. If you have to ask, something's wrong.
Shout out Tim.
Let it be known in the reselling community that I started shout out Tim. Okay,
it is true.
That's my thing.
Shout out Tim.
I have to brag on that because that's my thing, and now everybody does it. So
I think we should. I think we should figure out where
is.
Kevin works in Virginia, and then like all make anonymous reports that he was like cyberbullying or something, Nothing too bad, just enough to get
Kevin?
him fired.
Be careful what you wish.
Everybody in the chat, 400 people here. Just do some detective work. I'm kidding, unless Kevin really wants that.
No, don't. Well, I mean, I don't know. That's why I said it would be kind of like am I upset or am I really happy right now? You know,
I think you would be happy.
That's going to be Tim's first merch. Tim's first merch shirt for his channel is going to be shout out
Tim.
No, dude, that's our podcast merch shirt.
That's ours. Yeah.
That's ours. He can get his own shirt.
Yeah.
We gotta put it out quick because
we gotta copyright it. We gotta patent it and everything.
We gotta beat him. Justin, the flippin' accountant, thank you for the super chat. I think Justin just hit 5K subs too. Look, Kevin would like a shout out, please, Josh.
I gave Kevin a shout out in the Tim video.
I will give the dolphin. We've been busy talking. I have given a few dolphins. I will give a dolphin now for Justin. Super chat. Yeah, see, like I sometimes if the chat's going fast, I'm trying to keep up. I'll give like a dolphin like every couple of super chats, and then everybody misses a dolphin. Oh, okay. Anyways, we're at the 2-hour mark, guys. I know I am tired. I know these guys are tired. So I know their channel links are down below. Just in case you're not subscribed to any of these three guys, definitely check them out and subscribe. Thank you, all three of you, for hanging out with me.
Thank you, Kat.
I appreciate it. Kathy's saying she loved her Utah videos. I saw that a couple times, so I'm going to make sure I get that up there for you, Josh.
Thank you, Kathy. That's my mom's name. Shout out, Kathy.
That's my mom's name.
Shout out my mom and your mom.
That's my neighbor's name.
Is your mom's name spelled like that with a K, Josh?
Yeah.
Mine too. That's kind of funny.
There's a lady that goes to my church with that name.
Yeah, okay. There you go, Kayla. Do the gummy bear challenge. All right, guys. Next week we will be live with a big giant surprise box being opened live for Misty, Thrifter, Junker, Vintage Hunter. It is her birthday on June 1st. And I will have Flippin' Fiasco as my co-host, and my good friend Jocelyn, Crazy Lamp Lady, will be on. So we will see you guys next Tuesday at 8. Bye, guys.